All right, guys, this is Thomas Bird here. We got a Friday night practice game with summary battle reports. I've got the Ultramarines. I'm always constantly tweaking and fiddling with this list, so we're going to try a slight variation. We got Stephen Mitchell in here with his chaos list. It's got beasts. It's going to be tough, but we'll see what we got. So let's take a quick look at my list, and then we'll go hit his chaos list. So leading the charge, of course, is Guilliman. He's the man. We have a single battalion led by 2 HQs. We have Tigurius and a Primaris Chaplain on bike. This is going to be familiar to a lot of folks. He's a Master of Sanctity. He knows 2 Litanies. He's got focus and fire, so +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Tigurius, we've mixed up his powers a little bit just to test it out. I really dislike Null Zone, so I'm going to try the Veil of Time, but keeping Mighty Heroes and Psychic Fortress. Of course, we have a Chief Apothecary. He's going to be rocking a Relic Vox Espiritum. That's going to let him have an extra 6 inches to his, or 3 inches to his 6-up Feel No Pain aura, so 6-inch bubble. 2 units of Victrix Guard, 1 unit of Bladeguard, 1 unit of Tyrannic Veterans. I had 2 units in here. Had to shuffle some points to fit those Bladeguard in. Got 1 unit of Hellblasters Assault Incinerators. Sergeant has a Master Crafted weapon. We have a unit of Grab Devastators. I had 5 extra points, so I give a Sarge a Stormbolter. A unit of Attack Bikes with Multi-Meltas. I have 1 unit of Infiltrators and 1 unit of Incursors. 10-man Intercessors with Grenade Launchers. They have the Auto Bolt Rifles, so that's the Assault 3. And then I have a Thunderhammer on the Sarge. And last Relic, Seal of Oath on the Chaplain here. So that's the list for the Ultramarines. Let's go take a look at Chaos and what I'm facing today.
Hey, this is Steven. Just going to explain to you the army I'm playing right now. I have 2 detachments, a small patrol of Thousand Suns and a battalion of Nurgle Demons. The Nurgle Demon detachment is 3 squads of 8 beasts, as well as 3 squads of 3 Nurglings, a small squad of Furies, an Exalted GUO, Slimex, and the Tallyman himself. Then in the actual Thousand Sun list will be Armon here and a Sorcerer Terminator Lord. And then a squad of 5 Marines and just a Chaos spawn to round it out.
All right, guys, we're here with the turn 1 deployment. We are playing the mission Surround and Destroy. There's going to be 6 objectives. Take and Hold is the primary, so that's Hold 1 and Hold 2. The secondaries that we chose, I chose While We Stand. So my 3 most expensive units are Guilliman, my 10-man Intercessors, and my Attack Bikes. Ugh. I have to choose because I have 2 units that are 165. I have an Assassinate. He's got 5 characters, which will also be very difficult because he has so many beasts to get through. And I have Deploy Scramblers, not my favorite. On his side, he's got Domination. So this 6 objectives, I mean, he has a whole 4. He's got to grind them down. Very difficult to kill any of his units, so he's going to bank on that. And then he has Assassinate as well. So I have 4 difficult to kill characters, but he has lots of targeted smite. So he has better chance than me, I think, unless I can just really wear him down. We rolled for terrain. He won the roll to put the first piece out. He put that big ruin in the center and then conceded to just kind of block the centers up. I try to keep his board open. You can see where he deployed, put some ruins and forests back there to kind of keep it open. And he's really maximized those forests. He won the roll to pick side, so he's picked that side. He's got all his beasts stacked on the minuses to hit. His little weak Nurgling and Fury units. I don't even know where the Furies. They're hiding back here. Oh, they don't want to get killed. Give up an easy grind them down in the early turns. He's got a unit of Rubic Marines hiding here on a back objective. He's got 1 lone spawn all the way back there, lonely, in reserve. On my side, I have a unit of Infiltrators here with 1 Victrix holding down the lonely side. And then everyone's over here stacked it. They've run out of room to put guys. Attack by Intercessors. Everybody's stacked up here. And then we have the unit of Incursors slightly pushed up just in case he decided he wanted to go first and attack me. I didn't want to really risk spending CP too early if I didn't have to. I have just 1 unit of Tyrannic Veterans in reserve. I have Deploy Scramblers, so they have a plan for them. Hopefully they live to do that. So he usually doesn't try to stop Deploy Scramblers. So maybe that'll be an easy 10 points for me. But we shall see. So my roll to go first. I want it. I'm going first. All right, the end of turn 1, the shooting was pretty substantial. I feel like he rolled a little under average on his Feel No Pains. He did surge, so he had some 4-ups. Go through the math on it, but these infiltrators jumped into reserve, trying to like have a little kind of extra flexibility when we want to deploy scramblers. Guys moved up. I kind of did a misplay here. +1 to hit and +1 wound. I gave it all to the Hellblasters. I should have given +1 to wound to the Intercessors. That was a mistake. Probably would cost me. I did do scramblers with these guys. They moved up into the midboard just over the line. Everyone else ran up and shot at his beast. I killed 8 beasts.
Oh, 6. I had 2 there. 6 beasts.
There's
8.
Oh, there are 8 starting with. So I killed 6 beasts. There's 2 left, but he did grow a guy back, so he hasn't put that guy down yet. He passed him around on a 2 because he's leadership 10 because of the grade of GUO standing within 6. Annoying. So that's it. But I am on 3 objectives, but I am danger close with his super psychers here. There's 2 guys there, the 3rd guy here. And then, yeah, that's it. These guys, I basically conceded this whole side of the board. I don't know what he's going to do. Run into the center, I'm sure. And let's go to turn 2. Or bottom of turn 1, I guess. Okay, we're here at the bottom of turn 1. Pretty distraught after that heinous turn. Some miscalculations, some great rolling on Steven's part, and I've lost quite a bit, army-wise. So let's talk about it. So, unbeknownst to me, I wasn't really paying attention, so that's my fault. He had some Nurglings in here, and so my brilliant plan to pull my upset guys away to go do something crazy has now backfired because he just ran and stole my objective. So, fantastic. Doesn't matter for my primary points, but it does matter because he had to get domination. Guess how many objectives he got with that? Now he has 4. The other big thing is my chaplain, who had the Seal of Oath and just was giving +1 to hit and wound to everyone, had his toes sticking out. And Steven's like, if I go here, I can just see him. So those 2 guys went there and super bunch of smites, powers, all the targeted stuff. He did exactly 7 wounds, and then poof. I did not roll any 6s. He died. He got assassinate. He got grinded down because he killed a chaplain, and I didn't kill anything. So now he's scoring all the points. So that's it. A couple wounds shouting here. He did smites. He did the exploding smites. Did some wounds. Everyone's hurt, but Apothecary's got his work cut out for him. All right, end of turn 2. Top of turn 2 for the Ultramarines. Some tough decisions that had to be made. Losing that chaplain really hurt. I had guys in reserve. Let's start with that. I brought them all in. These guys I bounced in the first turn. Unfortunately, to keep him from just scoring this objective, I had to come in. They were within 9 inches, but luckily I'm next to my board edge, so the rule is quite specific. All I have to do is have my unit within 1 inch. In my deployment zone, I can be within 9 inches. So I was able to come back and OPSEC that objective away from him. These Victrix guard ran over here. They don't want to really charge just yet to give this unit something to do. So they're just going to be threatening and maybe be relevant later. Over here, everyone shifted up and shot at -1 miasma guys. So not fantastic. He went ahead and surged because that's the only unit I could see. Those guys in the back, that was the original wounded unit. He just grew a guy back, but he did not grow a guy back here. So with all my shooting, even with 3 attack bikes inside multi-melter range, shooting in the 4 and vulnerable states, he still has 4 beasts left. So I only killed 4 beasts. I came over here. I shot into Nurglings. I killed 1.5 bases. Bladeguard made their charge. Oh, Mighty Heroes, I need 1 more attack, so we'll do that. And fought. But I did 10 wounds. I rolled fantastic with the Bladeguard. He popped the strat for invulnerable saves. He made 8 4-ups out of 10. So he only lost 2 dudes. I made my saves fighting back. He just made his 1 save. So we're going to roll my attack. Craptastic. 9 out of 13 or whatever it was. 11. All right, so that's all of it. Let's go to his turn 2. All right, the end of Steven's round 2. So bottom of turn 2 is complete. Looking over here, he ran these Nurglings back onto the objective and also ran these beasts up to threaten my objective here. Over here, he smited and did a metric ton of wounds, rolling very hot. I only blocked 1 power, but it didn't matter. He killed all 7 intercessors with smites before he charged in on the attack bikes. The attack bikes were wounded. I made a bunch of saves, but still managed to take 3 mortal wounds from 6s. He popped the strat for the beasts. He rolled 4 6s I rolled 1/6 to save, so 3 wounds were on him, 1 attack bike, so he killed it. So I'm down to 1 attack bike. But while we stand was lost there because that was my intercessor squad was one of my while we stands. I knew it was a threat or a risk to put them up front, and it backfired on me. Over here, the Bladeguard made all their saves after the beast charged in. I had Veil of Time, so I was able to go interrupt basically for free, and I killed his 1,000 Suns. The beast, or the spawn came in from reserve and attacked, and then flubbed his attack. So at the end of the turn, let's look at it. Steven, we both picked up 10 on the primary. I lost one of my while we stands. Neither have not assassinated anyone, but I did do 2 scramblers in my zone and in my middle zone. During his turn, he picked up domination both turns. Killing those 1,000 Suns, he killed my intercessors, so I stopped him from getting grind. He did not assassinate. So that's it so far. Fairly close, but I'm running out of bodies to protect from all that smite. I have no way to stop it from happening. So it's going to be tough. Let's go to turn 3. All right, end of turn 3. The top of turn 3 for Ultramarines. Fairly decent turn. Still some maneuvering. A couple things, it's tough. It's just tough to fight through the beast, especially when you're losing the Chaplain when I needed all those rerolls. That would have helped tremendously over here. So what happened this turn? I made the guys that were here, Infiltrators, bounce out of combat or into reserve, so they used guerrilla tactics. I moved these Victrix guard back on the objective to really kind of force his hand. Is he going to come over here? Is he going to stay on the objective? What is he going to try to split? What is he going to do? Over here, I shot, did everything I could. I got rid of those couple of beasts, so that gave me a kill. I shot and killed these Nurglings. That gave me a kill. And I shot and killed these Nurglings. That gave me a kill. It's important that I kill those Nurglings here because they could have charged these guys. These guys had to run. They were outside of the zone. So as long as they don't die this turn or get tied up in combat, then I can deploy Scramblers. These guys decided they wanted to charge to get the objective away from him. Their OPSEC, my glorious plan, I needed a 7 on the charge. I rolled a 6 with no CP left. These guys had to use the last CP to fall back and re-engage. I needed to do that to make sure I got rid of the Nurglings because they could have came in here and tied up these guys potentially. That was a choice. That was a risky play. It ended up backfiring. I should have gave them Mighty Heroes to make them, or Veil of Time to give them the reroll charge. That was a failure on my part. So fighting, I killed the Nurglings. I killed that spawn down to 1 wound. And then he fought back. He spent 6s to do mortal wounds and just rolled a bucket load of saves. I failed a couple 2 damage saves, and I took a couple mortal wounds. So I'm down to 2 wounds. I had to pull one of the critical guys that was touching that spawn off. So now he's actually free from combat, and the spawn are still engaged. So this guy could come over here and foil all the hard work that I did, but he's only got 1 wound left. So he may just die in combat. So we don't have that marked, but he's got 1 wound left. So it's now bottom of turn 3. Let's see what Steven can do. Looking at the score sheet real quick. I picked up 10 on the primary. I need to write that. I did not lose any while we stands. Did not scramble. Did not kill any characters. Let's see what he can do on his turn. All right, bottom of turn 3. That was a big, big turn for Steven. A lot of things were kind of very close to the wire. I had a big turn coming up for me if I was able to hold on. But here's what happened. So over here, I had 2 guys tow on the terrain. So he was able to, his big bases still squeeze 2 guys onto it to contest. He shuffled these guys in because he knows I have infiltrators kind of waiting in the wings. They want to get deployed scramblers. Over here, I had 2 units of Victrix Guard and Guilliman sitting on the objective. He has no OPSEC over here, so he has to like overwhelm me here to get this objective. He needed that for domination. Plus, he wanted to kill Roboute. So he did Psychic Powers, and he just rolled good. And at one point, he failed the big power. Roboute had died and got back up with 2 wounds. And then he spent a CP at the end of the phase. So like we both getting up at the end of the phase, and he's casting a spell after the end of the phase. So he got to choose the order. So Roboute got back up with 2 wounds. He cast a spell, and then he did his last CP to get +3 to cast, and he ended up casting it on a 13. So I couldn't even deny. I was saving my last deny to try to stop it. So he instantly killed Roboute. He did some wounds, killed an attack bike in the explosion. It's just bad all the way around. Over here, worst case scenario happened. The beast charged with 1 wound. He killed 2 guys. He rolled really low on his attacks. He still killed 2 guys. I needed to do 2 wounds to him, hopefully to get 1 through. I did roll 2 wounds, and he made 2 5-ups. It was terrible. So they live, so they can't scramble. Over here, he had to make 8 saves on 2-ups from the beasts because he had no CP to mortal wound me, and I survived. I fought back, did a couple wounds, but irrelevant. He outnumbered me. I do have some OPSEC guys, but they're out of range to get scramblers. So, he does take me off the primary, though, by contesting this objective. I only hold 1, so I'll get 5 this turn. Top of turn 4 is done. Ultramarines, not as great a turn as I had hoped for. Really, I think the game is lost. We're kind of going through the motions here just to kind of get points. I had a couple moves I was going to try to do, but... So, end of my turn. Copacetic, just hanging out, waiting for the inevitable. Over here, everyone ran back. I mean, while we stand here, so I grew attack bike back. I got to keep the attack bikes alive. He's got assassinate, so I'm trying to protect my characters, not just bleed extra points. That will make him tough here. This guy's base is too big. He can't fit through there without advancing, and even then that might be difficult. Over here, I charged in with my incursors because I need these guys to live to be able to do deploy scramblers. So they fell out of combat. There was a spawn here. I killed the spawn, so he has at least killed 2 things to get past grinded down. He fought everything into the incursors, not him. We fought, did nothing. And then he healed himself because he killed a model. Over here, in my 1 trick play, the Infiltrators came back from reserve. We're like, we're back. We shot, did some wounds, failed a 9-inch charge, re-rolled it, failed it again. Can't steal that objective from him, so he's going to get 15 on the primary right now. Terrible. But that's it for turn 4 for the Ultramarines. Let's see what he does in his bottom of turn 4. All right, end of turn 4 for Steven. I actually had a lot of cackling because everything that was going wrong went wrong for him that turn. I stopped a lot of points just because he just rolled bad, not because of anything I did. Over here, mistakes were made. These guys were supposed to be safe this turn to get scramblers, but they lost 2 guys, so they don't care about morale, but they were able to get charged by the snail, and then he piled in and touched these guys, so they cannot fall back and do an action, so they are screwed. I attacked. He rolled split his attacks because he wanted to get 2 kills. I got 1 kill last turn, so he needed to get 2 kills to get grinded down. He rolled snake eyes for both D6 attacks. Snake eyes. Like, what the heck? Did not wound him. So I lived. That guy's OPSEC. I hold the objective. Yes. Good for me. So he ended up getting blank because I held that objective. He did not hold 4. He did not get domination for 1 turn. Look at that. I blanked him. I did something. My turn, that guy living, I'm going to hold 10 on the primary. So it's a lost game, but fun over here is happening. Renewed life, if you could say that. Nurglings stopped me. No scramblers, so I'm going to get 0 scramblers. That's terrible. Tallyman looks on, laughing. All right, end of turn 5 for the Ultramarines. Again, I tried to do some things to get some points. I kind of feel bad I fell back because I actually did quite a bit of damage. I misplayed my reroll 1s to hit stratagem. I only had 1 CP. I put it on the attack bikes trying to think I'm going to get the most damage bang for my buck out of the multi-meltas. Instead, I should have did it on the Hellblasters because they were overcharging. Mistakes were made. 2 guys overcharged or charged and overheated and died. The 1 guy that's standing in front of Tigurius, I elected not to overcharge with him, and he didn't roll anyone. So, bam. And of course, when I rolled these guys, they didn't roll any ones either. After all the shooting was done, we shot grav guys, 3 Hellblasters, 2 of which overheated and died, and then 3 attack bikes. A GUO is still alive with 2 wounds. Oh, 3 wounds. Combat over here, he killed the lone dude, and then the final blow on the Bladeguard. He held out for quite a long time, but finally failed his last save. And then that is it. His turn 5, he's going to run around and do some stuff. These grab guys charged into these Furies. He's got Feel No Pain, 5-up invulnerable save. I did not kill enough to matter. I take the turn, but he's got the bottom of the turn, so he'll be able to fight, kill, potentially still get that objective. So let's see what he can do on his turn. All right, the game has finished. End of turn 5. Chaos prevails. They didn't really have to do that much in the final turn, so it went pretty quickly. The beasts here, they just ran. This guy's up on the top, so he's got 3 bodies on this objective to my 2. Over here, this guy moved on to the objective, so he's going to hold that objective. These guys fell back from combat just so they wouldn't accidentally give up a kill. These Furies fell back from combat, and then he moved the GUO to touch that. So he's got 4 bodies to my 4. Doesn't really matter because he's going to smite, cast some powers, but he doesn't need it because he's got 4 objectives. That's all he needs to get domination. Holding here, holding back there, 1, 2, 3, and then he has 3 bodies, 4. So domination. He killed more during my turn, so he gets grind him down, and then he did not assassinate anybody else. So let's look at the final score. I picked up 10 on my final turn. He picked up 15, which gives me a total of 35 for primary. He's going to pick up 45. Looking at my secondaries, only the attack bikes live, so I get 5 points for while we stand. I did not kill any of his characters. Sad, because Roboute died. And then he blocked me from scrabblers. Struggling. Domination, he got that pretty much every turn. I was surprised. 4. Objectives, pretty tough. But grind him down, I was able to hold him back just a little bit. I think we played this game once before, and I didn't lose very many units. So, we kind of knew that was a little bit a tough choice, potentially. And then assassinate, he did get a rowboat, and he did pick up that chaplain on first turn, which was actually really big because that second turn of my shooting was really diminished fighting back. So final score, 40-69. Chaos wins. Great game. Lots of beasts. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of beasts. Well, that's it for our game today. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, do all those fun things. I'm Thomas with Pro Tabletop. Signing off. We'll see you next time.